Pro Tunes.
Alright, so this is Scout Chapter 13. Alright, let's go. I'm back, and there's lots to talk about. Some of it has to do with not writing in a while. It's been almost 2 months. I just feel like I needed to be in the moment. So I allowed myself to take a break from writing. It's kind of amazing to see just how many pages I actually used up to this point. I'll try my best to recount the events between the last time I had written and now. I stayed with the Curtis brothers for a while. I slept on their couch. 2-Bit was over many times, many of the days that I had stayed. Ponyboy was tutoring him, which is impressive because 2-Bit is in the 12th grade, although he's 2 years behind. Pony has been trying to help him graduate this year. 2-Bit has a hard time focusing. All he wants to do is tell jokes. Ponyboy gets frustrated with him. He would remind him that he's also in school and is trying to make time for him, which would usually get him to focus back to their work. I appreciate Pony trying to look out for him. Pony's hoping that he can graduate this year. My mom and I spent Christmas at the Curtis house. We watched Christmas programs on TV and exchanged gifts. In some of these TV programs, there's plenty of gifts under the tree. We didn't have too many. It made me feel a little awkward, but I forgot about it pretty soon. It's a thought that counts. Pony made me a bookmark. He drew the USS Enterprise on it. He's a pretty good artist. He also had it laminated. Soda got me an Oklahoma keychain, which oddly enough meant a lot to me. Now that my dad is in prison, I feel more security that Oklahoma will be my home, or at least for a while. Steve came over and he brought a cake, which was oddly thoughtful of him. Steve, the Curtis brothers, and I had a snowball fight while my mom cooked for us. My attack was mostly targeted towards Steve. My throw was pretty good, I have to admit. We also made snow forts. We made tunnels and everything. One time, when Ben came over, we pretended our snow fort was a Starfleet ship. When I finally went back home, the whole atmosphere was different. There were no more beer cans or bottles. It was quiet. I felt safe. I didn't mind going home or being home. I watched more TV nowadays, seeing as my dad is gone. My mom and I over dinner, we talk. We talk all the time now, actually. I think that's why my mom was always so quiet, because she just had no motivation left. I don't blame her though. Even my mom's tone when she talks to me, it almost sounded unfamiliar to me, because it's just calm and easy. Lately, I've been going to church with my mom. I've never been religious. My mom started to go to the church nearby, only walking distance. It's just a small place. I wasn't too sure what to expect. To tell you the truth, I was preparing to be yelled at, told that I need to do better or else. My first time I was there, I was self-conscious because I didn't have nice clothes. Lord knows I don't wear dresses. But I was taken back. When I stepped inside, I could see people of all kinds. Black and whites, people who looked like they have money, and some that looked raggedy. There were even greasers there too. Everybody was so nice to my mom and I, shaking our hands and everything, asking how we are doing. It didn't matter how I looked or who I was. To tell you the truth, I didn't really want to come with her, but I felt like it was the least I could do considering everything. Besides, it seemed like she found refuge here. They had a man, probably 25 years old. He had a plaid shirt tucked in his pants. The pastor or reverend, whatever I should call him, invited that man up to share. He told a story about how he grew up in a rough spot. His parents fought all the time and barely paid attention to him. So home wasn't his favorite place. I could relate to that. He ended up making the wrong kind of friends, and he ended up making a hangout spot of a drug house. A place where people would fornicate, take whatever substance, and hang out, I guess. At least there he felt like he belonged somewhere. He adopted this lifestyle. He talked about the drugs and the sex would temporarily soothe his pain, but his life ended up in shambles. He couldn't hold a job and became dependent on drugs. He was in the slammer a few times. He got thrown out of his house, and he also got a woman pregnant from the drug house community. He felt like he lost control. He did what my mom did. He came here. He didn't know what else to do. According to his story, he learned about God's forgiveness and unconditional love according to the scriptures. He learned about Christ taking on the judgment and punishment in the place of sinners if they choose to receive his sacrifice so they may have eternal life. He sought counsel with the pastor, and he told the pastor, "I don't know if I really believe this deep down." The pastor told him, "Why don't we pray to see the change that you need so that God would reveal himself to you?" "I received that change," he yelled in the microphone. He said that he miraculously had no desires for drugs anymore. He got himself work, went and visited his parents after not seeing them for so long, and he asked them to forgive him for causing any type of ruckus. He told them he's no longer on drugs and is working now. He said although their relationship is a work in progress, he said they told him they're proud of him, which gave him a big boost. On the inside, he forgave them too for their absence in his life, and it gave him a new sense of peace. He personally promised the pregnant woman's parents that he aims to clean himself up and support his new family. He announced that he and the pregnant woman are getting married, and he's supporting her through entering a new life of sobriety, and if we could continue to pray for her and the baby. Everybody clapped in celebration over this guy. I did too, how could I not? After praying for him and his new family, the pastor went on to say, "This is why we need love, compassion, and faith. You don't know what your neighbor's going through." He reminded us that Jesus sought out the rejects in society and showed them love and compassion. Now look, as inspiring as it is, I'm a little bit like this plaid guy. I can't just believe something right off. I don't think I've ever even read the Bible. I've always been agnostic, I guess. As someone who appreciates the beauty in this world, I can see a designer in all of it. But with all the bullshit in this world, I had a big nasty plate of bullshit even in my own life. It's not so easy for me to accept that there's a loving God who actually wants something to do with me. Although the thought that there is, or that there could be, is a comforting thought. I remember Ponyboy saying he has a history of going to church. I'm not completely sure what he believes, though. I kind of felt like talking to the plaid guy, but I kind of stayed tucked away. I didn't want to draw attention to myself. Someone from church gave us a ride home because it's winter. My mom went on to finish the dishes we left behind from earlier. She asked me if I pray about things. I said not really. "Would you pray with me sometime?" she asked. I reluctantly said, "I guess so." I asked, "What do you pray about?" My mom said that maybe our family could be restored. I was actually kind of shocked. Maybe it's because I hold a lot of resentment towards my dad. But I had no desire to see him really. Ever again could be in question. Why would my mom want to ever go back to him? During this time, my mom actually would tell me stories about before I was born. A lot of it over dinner, now that we talk. She told me about how my dad was a charming man and an ambitious man. He learned that my mom's favorite color is sky blue. That impressed me because that's my favorite color too. I'm not sure if I ever shared that with her, although I think my favorite color changed from when I was little. It may have been purple before. My dad would always have a blue gumball prepared for her when they would meet. Without fail, he would always have one. They used to love going bowling. He liked to show off his skills. I can't remember the last time we went bowling. I feel like we have at one point a long time ago, but I don't remember. Apparently my grandfather had an insurance company, My dad worked for my grandfather. He enjoyed being an insurance salesman. When he would do his rounds, he would carry a bag of bubble gum wherever he went. He would offer his clients or potential clients a gumball from his bag. Some people nicknamed him Gumball Guy. My grandfather told my dad that one day he would give my dad the company and all the clients my grandfather had acquired throughout the years. They operated in the family home until they could afford office space. My mom and dad got married, had a beautiful wedding. My mom ended up working for them as their secretary and filing until she had me. Then she stayed home to look after me. Unfortunately, my grandfather had a bit of a gambling problem. Just like all problems, it starts small, then gets bigger. Ultimately, his gambling problems led to losing the family business. This basically ruined my dad's life and plans. This kind of what started the decline in our family. I always knew we didn't really speak to my grandfather on my dad's side. I didn't know why, at least not in detail. When my mom told me this, she cried. I didn't want to ask too many questions because it all seemed so painful. But I feel like only now would have been a good time for me to learn about this. For the first time, I felt bad for my dad. Maybe in a sense that's progress. But I still had no desire to see him. I don't think that's unreasonable. With everything that has been going on, it was a little distracting to study for finals. Ultimately, it went well. I passed all my classes and just started a new semester. I'll be getting my marks soon. As weird as it is, I don't have a lot of interest in seeing my marks. I kind of want last semester to be last semester and just move on to the next. Something that I'm excited about is signing up for writing club, where students meet midweek after school and write and critique each other's work. Pony and Ben are interested. It's supervised by a teacher named Debbie. I've seen her around. Hopefully she's nice. End of chapter 13. I guess this chapter isn't that long, but I think it had to be this long. Man, if I had it my way, I probably would have come out with all these chapters, with all these ideas that I had in my head. I'd probably come out with them faster, but I guess that's not always how it works. When I planned on writing this, when I started writing this years ago, which is interesting that it's years ago now, I thought I was going to come out with all of my ideas a lot more quicker than I have been. It's just like, the thing is, when I don't feel inspired, then I don't tend to work on stuff, because I know when the ideas and the juices are flowing, everything just comes out just right. And so I allow myself to feel inspired so that I can get it all out and it feels organic. But it's interesting because even till now, like, the ideas that I originally had, it's not like I'm actually gaining more ideas as I'm going on. I actually had all my ideas from almost the get-go. They come a little bit as I go, but my ideas mainly, I had it all like written down in a book of things that I wanted to happen. So anyway, for anyone listening to this story, I greatly appreciate it. It's interesting. I didn't like grow up wanting to be a writer or anything. I don't even read books really. But for some reason, when it came to this, I was inspired to write something. And actually, I kind of recently-ish wrote a short story that I'm very proud of, that I would like to come out sometime on this channel. So definitely I do like writing stories. I'm not sure whether or not it is blatantly clear that I'm not a writer, or that I don't have that experience, or that I don't read books really. Hopefully it doesn't seem too obvious, but I'm happy if anybody enjoys it. So thanks for watching, and I'll come out with the next chapter sometime.